Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Hope and I am a photographer serving both Charleston and Savannah. And this YouTube channel is where I share education for photographers as well as a little bit of my peek into my life living in the Low Country. And I have a very exciting announcement before we jump into today's YouTube video. If you are watching this video the day or the week that it goes live in February 2022, I am hosting a brand new 100% free live class all about how to level up your senior photography business. So I have not taught a live class like this in almost 2 years. This is a brand new content, brand new everything, and I am so excited to be sharing it with you. So on February 28th, you can sign up 100% for free at the link in the description. I'm hosting a free class called the Senior Portrait Blueprint, and I'm talking through the 5 elements that every senior photographer needs to create beautiful images. So we're talking gear, we're talking posing, we're talking lighting, we're talking locations, we're talking post-processing. If you've ever been to one of my webinars or free challenges in the past, then you know that I am known for filling up notebooks with notes. I do not do fluffy content. I speak very quickly. I get to the point very quickly. It's gonna be jam-packed, seriously. So 100% free, literally no catch, I'm not lying to you, it's literally free, and it's in the description below to sign up and claim a free seat. We typically have thousands of photographers attend these classes, so it's a one-time thing. If you miss it, then you miss it, and I don't want you to miss it. So sign up at the link in the description, and I will see you there on February 28th. But let's dive into today's video. If you have watched any of my other senior posing videos, then you know how passionate I am about posing when it comes to senior portraits, because I believe even more than any other photography genre, like families and engagements and wedding days, when you're posing a senior client by themselves, you are the person that's completely in charge of how they feel about themselves, about their confidence, and the way that you communicate to them and pose them in front of your camera will make or break the experience, because they don't have a spouse or friends or a bridal party or a family with them in front of the camera. It's just them. So they're feeling awkward, they're feeling stressed, they're feeling overwhelmed, and it's 100% on you as the photographer to communicate clear, effective posing instruction to make them feel beautiful and confident, or else it will reflect in the final images, right? I used to leave senior sessions feeling super frustrated because I would love my client's outfit, I would love the location, the lighting would be impeccable, and I would just run out of pose ideas. And so I would panic and send her to the car to change and then scroll my phone on Pinterest trying to come up with other pose ideas. And I would leave my shoots frustrated because I wasn't happy with the images I was getting as a result. So I want to share with you guys today my 5 favorite close-up poses for senior girls. I love close-up portraits. I've been a senior photographer for almost a decade now. If you followed me for any amount of time, then you know that I'm kind of known for my close-up, really glowy senior portraits. And I want to share with you guys 5 of my favorite poses for those today, because I think that when it comes to close-up portraits, especially if you're wanting just that one really stellar wow factor type of image to post from a sneak peek at your senior sessions, there's a lot of different elements that come into play here, right? Your senior needs to trust you and feel really confident in front of the camera for you to be all up in their face. And some of the senior poses that we do for close-up portraits can feel a little bit like high fashion and couture, and it can feel a little awkward for your client to get into those poses if they don't trust you by that point of the shoot. For example, you see those senior poses with their hands over their head and their hands all over their face, and if you're not working with your clients in a way that allows them to trust you, then they're not gonna blindly believe you when you say that this is gonna look good on camera, right? So when I'm focusing on senior portraits and close-up specifically, I'm typically photographing these at the end of a session. Once my client's comfortable with me, once they trust me, we've been working together for 2 hours at this point, then I'm gonna put them in some of these weird or high fashion looking close-up poses. But let's dive right in to my favorite 5. First things first, we're gonna start simple and kind of get more quote unquote advanced with these poses, because like I mentioned, what I like to do is wait and save some of the weirder or more high fashion poses for the end or close to the end of a session. So what we're gonna do first is something that's super simple, and that's just having your clients put their hands in their hair. I see some photographers do this pose and it comes across a little bit awkward, and I think it's because they're not instructing their clients to lean into the hand that they have in their hair. So a very often, like frequent pose that I do is I'll have my client pull some hair up on both sides, and then I will have them just bring one hand to really brush, like really lightly brush a piece of hair out of their face like this. So some photographers will do this and just have them stand straight up like this, and this feels a little stiff and uncomfy, right? So when I give this instruction, I have them brush their hand and just lean their head, I can't talk, ever so slightly into their hand. So I'll say, okay, go ahead and really softly brush that piece of hair out of your face and lean that head into that hand like this. Just like that. And those make for some really beautiful and kind of casual feeling, genuine feeling close-up portraits. So one hand in the hair, you can do both hands in the hair and leaning in. You can do both hands on one side of the hair. Lots of variety available there, but just having your client brush a piece really lightly. Another common problem I see is people will do their whole hand in their hair like this, and that just doesn't look right. I know I totally just messed mine up. Or they will have them brush their hair really far back and then poof it up like this. I don't want that either. I want a really, really soft brush of their hair like this. And if they do something aggressive like this, I'll say, actually, let's try one more time and just do that really, really softly and show them what I mean. So pose number one, a hand in the hair. Pose number two is actually one of my favorites that I do so many different variations of at my senior sessions. And that is to have both arms crossed in front of you like this. For my senior guys, I do it very masculine like this. For my girls, I'm doing it really softly where they're kind of wrapped into their own elbows like this. And I love doing this pose and having them tilt into one shoulder or lean into a wall or a pillar or something that's available to them to lean on. Like when I'm shooting on Rainbow Row, downtown Charleston, I'll have them lean into a really pretty pink building like this. I just think this feels really cozy. I think it feels really cute, and I think it feels really casual. This is an easy pose to communicate at the beginning of a shoot while they're still warming up in front of the camera. Pose number three is my favorite variation of that pose, and I will have them cross their arms like this. I'll shoot a couple variations of this, and then I'll say, okay, now let's bring one of those hands up into your hair like this. I'm like falling over, crossing my ankles, but we'll have them bring one hand up like this, and I think that this is such a flattering pose on every single body type, and there's so many variations you can do, because I can have her bring her hand in her hair like this for a close-up, I can have her rest her hand on her cheek, I can cross over to this side, and then I can have her drop that arm down for some full body images before I come back in for more like this. So one hand across, one hand in hair. Love this pose for close-ups, especially when I communicate that head lean into that hand. They always look so, so cute. So pose three, one arm across, one hand in hair. So from a composition perspective, I really like having my clients' hands close to their face because it feels cozy, it creates leading lines, and if they have really pretty jewelry or a nail color, like I always have white nails, I want to photograph that. I want that to be true to them in their senior year. So these last two poses are going to be a little bit more like advanced, I guess you would say, but I love these last two. So one of them is I will have my client turn to the side and I'll have them put one hand in their hair but frame their face with that hand. And this is one of those poses that feels weird to do, right? Like this doesn't feel like a natural thing for me to do, but it photographs so beautifully because this creates leading lines towards your client, and the sun, if it's coming behind during golden hour, just creates a beautiful glowing effect. So I'll say, okay, put your hand in your hair and just cross it so that it's framing your face, then drop that shoulder away from your chin. That's a key there because a lot of people will do this and then it's blocking half their face. Have them lean towards the camera and drop their shoulder away from that chin and then just kind of lightly brush hair here. I'm going to show a few visuals so you guys have examples of that. Love that pose towards the end of a session. And the last pose is a pose that I used to be known for, and people would almost make fun of me. Like my fiance Hayden made fun of me for this pose in high school, and it was like the signature HTP pose was one hand over the head like this and then the other one on your face like this, because again, creates leading lines, compositionally beautiful. Doesn't feel super natural to do, but creates really stunning images. So I'll do one hand over their head like this and then one hand either on this cheek or on this cheek, and it just, when it's really cropped in, especially with an 85 millimeter, it is such a beautiful pose that feels really high fashion and elevated compared to a little bit more casual of a pose like this. So one hand over the head, and then let's bring that hand up into your hair on this side. Perfect. And tilt that head into that hand. I'm going to show some visuals of variations of this pose, but I think that it's super, super fun to do at any session. So I hope those 5 close-up poses were helpful to you. If you use them at your next shoot, let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you didn't hear at the beginning, I am hosting a brand new 100% free live class next week on February 28th, and I'm talking through the 5 elements that you need to create stellar senior portraits every single time. We're talking gear, lighting, locations, post-processing. We are covering so much content in this class, and if you've been following me for a long time, this is brand new content. This is a class I've never hosted before, and I'm really excited about it. So claim your free seat down below, join thousands of other photographers that will be tuning in, and also I'd love to have you subscribe. I post new videos every single week to help photographers build their businesses. I'm so grateful for you for tuning in, and until next week, bye y'all.